Aquarius, this is Victoria and I'm here with your January tarot horoscope. As always, we'll be looking at your personal space and love life, at your career and workspace, and we'll get you guidance from the universe on how to best utilize the energy of the month of January. At the end, I'll post some messages from your person of interest to yourself. And of course, we'll start with a quick oracle message. I've got the Sacred Traveler deck with me today, so let's get started. These readings are for Sun, Moon, and Rising Aquarius. So if you're watching this for your sun sign, please check out videos for your other placements as well. Whew. And you know the drill. Please like the video, and of course, if you're new, please subscribe. I will be doing a full moon in Cancer reading in a day or two. It is happening on the 3rd of January, and the energy is definitely lasting a couple of days before, a couple of days after, so there will be a lot to talk about. So yeah, stick around for that. Okay, not on this video, no, but as a separate video. But in order to be notified of that, it's important to subscribe. That's my point. There we go. All right, so Aquarius, your oracle message for the month of January is the voyage of the heart. Love flows through you and to you. Very interesting. So it's the heart chakra opening. I wanted to say awakening, but I was corrected to opening, because it's not really that it's starting to awaken, it's the continuation of the process. There are always new layers and new possibilities in the heart opening journey. It's like healing journey. It's never ending, really. But the more we can awaken our heart chakra and connect to it, and be more in connection with it on a regular basis, the more capacity to experience love we have in our life, both in terms of giving and receiving, and both are equally important, by the way. All right, moving on, let's see what we have with tarot for you. So for your love life, and by the way, I'm doing a series of videos on mental health insights of 2025 right now. They're short videos that I'm posting on Instagram and also on YouTube, but on my other channel, Mindful Bamboo, where you get the glimpses of different discoveries that I made that I really wanted to share with you guys. These are like the best of the best. Sorry about that. Well, in any case, if there is some kind of a struggle, or you feel a little bit stuck in your progress with your inner work, with whether it's releasing and forgiving and letting things go and leaving them behind, or whether it's developing new level of emotional intimacy, those videos are going to be useful for you. So I highly recommend. There's a link to my other channel in the description box, and of course, if you follow me on Instagram, even easier to find those. All right, so let's see what we have here with tarot. So for personal space and love life, we have 10 of Wands, Queen of Cups, and Queen of Wands. Wow, two feminine figures. This could still be a couple theoretically, but most likely there are two different feminine energies. And if you are a feminine energy, then there is a good chance that there is an interference of another feminine energy in your space, right? Or what I'm getting here is this person highlights certain things that you otherwise have, surrendered to, accepted to, and decided, that's just how things are. And you didn't have a plan to be changing anything anytime soon. And now this person, whatever they are doing, even if they're not purposefully talking to you or revealing the truth, with what they do, with what they say, with how they live their life, they're showing you that there are certain things that maybe you've overlooked as not important, and they are, or something that you didn't pay attention to, but this could be like a major block or a major breakthrough in your relationships. We'll talk a little bit more in a minute. For your career space, we have the Temperance, the Hanged Man. Oh, look at that. So these are Sagittarius and Piscean energy, and Page of Pentacles. Okay. And then for the advice, Ten of Cups, love it. Three of Cups. And King of Cups. And now we have King and Queen of Cups here as a couple. So you're an air sign. I mean, you could be, it could be a space where, because we started talking about heart chakra and open heart, bottom of the deck, 8 of Wands, by the way. This could be the person who helps you open up your heart in a different level, on a new level that you haven't really considered before. And maybe that's because it's also a soulmate type of connection, which may or may not be romantic, may or may not be like a life partner, doesn't have to be. But if that connection allows both of you, by the way, you encourage each other for further heart chakra opening, for further vulnerability, for showing up with empathy and kindness, that's already a big deal, right? And there is somebody here with that energy for you this month, right? And it's up to you, of course, to decide how much do you want to open up and how much of that emotional intimacy capacity do you have to go for it. But don't beat yourself up if you feel like it's not enough or this person deserves more, whatever the phrase might be. That's a story in your head. It's intended to be this way. Maybe especially because you feel like there is a gap here, right? And while you're building a bridge with that person, you'll discover something in yourself that will be important for your journey going forward, with or without this person. But yeah, a few more words on these queens, especially with 10 of Wands here. 10 of Wands is like that energy of overwhelm. And honestly, this is not the first reading where I'm seeing this trend. And I must admit that this is a January reading, but of course on the back of it, or as a prerequisite to it, we have the entire year behind us, right? And whether we like it or not, unless we live somewhere on a deserted island on our own timeline, isolated from social media and everything else, like vast majority of us is summing up our year, is looking back at like what was, the good, the bad, and the ugly, what was done, what hasn't been accomplished, what did I go through, and how do I want to continue with my life in the next year with this fresh energy, right? So there is that feeling of like, oh, this year has been a long one, right? It's tiring, you've been through a lot. And I feel like there's also a pressure from the society in general, of everything that's happening around you that feels like you're not even in control of, but it's like I still have to deal with the consequences of it. But at this time, you're not supposed to really just walk away from it, right? But not to keep this as your main focus. Do not focus on the overwhelm and what went wrong or what got you in the place of exhaustion by beginning of 2026. Focus on these energies that are helping you figure out, and this is fire and water, by the way, very different energy. One is full of passion and desire to make a change. Another one is more compassionate, kind, and wants people to feel safe and express themselves, right? How these different aspects, different modalities can help you, both of them equally important to help you build quality relationships with people. And there's nothing wrong with flowing between them, right? It doesn't mean that that's who you are all the time, but you are able to be agile and you're able to adapt depending on what the situation is asking for and how you feel about it, right? Not thinking too much of what tomorrow will bring, or is this person a good match for me economically, or what will the neighbors say, but more of like, what is this conversation and this situation asking me to do deep down, how I feel about it, and what's the next step. In terms of your career space, there is somewhat similar vibe, I would say, with all this rebalancing and recalibration. Major arcanas, seriously, numbers 12 and 14. There's transformation in between, which is the death card, right? But it's not here. So again, transformation kind of happens on the background. You're not drawn to it per se, but your task is to recalibrate the new energy so that your nervous system can adapt to it, so that it doesn't feel, you're not feeling out of place in your own work, in your own occupation, right? So you don't need to reinvent the wheel or, do a lot of hard work to bring in new clients, set up new projects, teams, whatever. Those are going to happen naturally, organically. But it is important for you to always work on your own inner balance, on your own energy field, on staying high vibe, on staying grounded. Otherwise, you may, as quickly as you got those opportunities, you may lose them just as quickly. So don't overdo it, I would say, but also show up in kindness and show up in a grounded energy. Not everything is gonna sound the way that you want it to. But that's also on purpose. These are major arcanas, again. They are supposed to get you to alchemize, to learn, to enhance your own vision, to see how, maybe you were a little narrow-minded somewhere. Maybe you just lacked certain subject matter knowledge, and now you have it, or you can learn from, what the universe presents to you. So before saying no, stay curious. Stay curious and show your openness to these new opportunities, new people, new teams. And then finally, for the advice, we have 10 of Cups, 3 of Cups, and King of Cups. All these cups, especially these particular cards, are reminding me that, we are in the holiday season. And again, January, especially in America, is considered kind of like, okay, we've had all our holidays, now let's get back to work and work hard. This energy is asking you to stay in your heart, to focus on your emotional well-being, to do things that make you full, that contribute to your own happiness and joy, and that are fun for you personally and also for your community. And that's a big deal for Aquarius in general, right? How do you create that impact in your community? And there is a lot that you can do, and you don't even have to be like a king just deciding on your own and then telling everybody else. You can work with your community on creating new spaces, new projects, and asking for their help. Essentially, that's what I'm hearing here. They don't just have to be all your clients. They can be partners. They can be teammates. See how you can leverage their knowledge, their expertise, and their experience to build what you feel guided to do. But it's definitely very much connected with heart chakra opening. So do not dismiss that as something insignificant or something you don't have the time for. All right, last but not least, message for Aquarius from their person of interest. What does Aquarius need to know from their person? All right, we got 2 of Swords clarified by another 8 of Wands and 3 of Wands. Okay, very fiery energy for a person. So there's something there that's not letting them make a decision. And it is something connected to you. And it could be, well, I mean, this is a collective reading, so pretty much anything from like the vision of how between the 2 of you, how you want to start a family, or moving in with you, or I don't know, starting a business together, or anything in between, could even be like what kind of food you both prefer. There are so many different dietary habits these days, and people are very committed to their approach. It's like, how do you marry the two if you are together with the person and you live together, you cook together? How do you make it work? There's something, but it is fundamental part of your life if you think about it. So there's something that where they cannot make a decision, whether it's agreeing, just going with what you want, or coming up with some kind of compromise, right? They're setting intention for finding a way to communicate, to find a solution that will work for both of you. But they're not sure that what you've already discussed is the best solution for them. So it's almost like they're choosing how to tell you that without you feeling like you're being disregarded or dismissed, right? And hopefully you know what I'm talking about based on some examples that I gave you. It might come up, of course. One day your person will say, you know what, I actually don't like eating at 9 p.m. at night, like I like having my dinners by 6 p.m. and you have completely different habit, and it will seem minor, but it's gonna open up a can of worms, right? Like a bigger deal of like, how do we want to do this? Nobody wants to budge, but you know, they have a hope that you'll find a way out of it. They want to find the way out of it, but right now they're a bit stuck in their head, so they're not really seeing good options. So that's maybe where the two of you can cooperate. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I love you all. If this resonated, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and until next time.